Hey guys, it's Iz, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact Lore video. Last week, I mentioned that I was going to talk about Paimon, and you guys sounded really excited to get into it. So, without any further ado, let's just jump straight into this one.
How many years ago was it? I don't know. But I intend to find out. I was completely alone from the time I woke, right up until I met you 2 months ago.
Yeah, Paimon really owes you for that. Otherwise, Paimon likely would have drowned. So Paimon will do her best to be a great guide.
Paimon is a curious little fellow to go over. We first meet Paimon by saving her from drowning when we went fishing one day. And ever since then, this emergency food of ours has been tagging along to help us with our journey. But who exactly is this floating fluff ball that wanted to join us? Does she have anything sinister in mind? In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that Paimon's name was taken from demonology, from the Lesser Key of Solomon, but it turns out that their connections go deeper than just a name. You see, Paimon in the Lesser Key of Solomon was actually one of the kings, which is cool since Paimon has a crown on her head as part of her design. But the similarities don't stop there. The demon Paimon has knowledge of past and future events, as well as the knowledge of earth, its waters, and wind. Also, he is known to answer all questions asked of him truthfully. This really sounds like our little Paimon being the guide for Teyvat, having the knowledge of most, if not all, the things in Teyvat. And she tends to be very blunt with everything she says or thinks, constantly answering truthfully. Paimon, the demon, has also been known to summon spirits as well as all sorts of people, kind of like how Paimon in-game helps us as well with our wishes.
Big talk for a guy who still ran off in the end. Chicken. And you! Did you just borrow the Holy Lyre to play music for drunkards to hear? You're so cheeky. You deserve an ugly nickname. Oh, Paimon knows. From now on, you'll be known as Tone Deaf Bard. Wow, this is really awkward. This guy looks like he's about to wet himself.
Now with this, it's a pretty solid connection for her inspiration. With this, we can assume that she's some sort of deity in Teyvat, since all of the Archons that we know of are named after demons in the Lesser Key of Solomon. Now it's time to find out which one she is. Now I'm sure some of you have heard at this point about Paimon being the unknown god, but for those that don't know, let me draw you some connections. People tend to look at the similarities of the unknown god to Paimon, with the star clip on Paimon's hair being similar to the portals that the unknown god creates. They also have similarly colored hair, as well as their capes having celestial design patterns. It's also kind of strange that Paimon is the only being like her in Teyvat that we know of. She seems to be an outsider of some kind and is kind of out of place. This makes it seem like the similarities are uncanny, and this evidence makes it look decently solid. But that's it, right? Clip it and ship it then. No, cause I have a couple of issues with this. Paimon is a big part of the game's UI, to the point that if Paimon were to leave us, who would take the place? Will they end up getting rid of Paimon's symbol on the top left of our screen? It wouldn't make sense at all that they would use her as the mascot of the game and integrate her into most of the UI just to end up getting rid of her. The same reason is why I don't think they would ever get rid of Paimon just by killing her off. So in a game design aspect, it just doesn't seem right to create a system around a character that would eventually leave you or be against you, the player. So with these thoughts, I really don't think that she's the unknown god, but I do think that she's somewhat related to her. But first, let's talk about who I think Paimon can actually be. Off the coast of the starting area of Teyvat, there's an island that gives you a quest. What's important about this is that we learn that there's another god that looked over Mondstadt before. It was the god of time. So yes, I do believe that Paimon is the time god. The main thing that makes me think this is that Paimon is the only one that we see that can actually control time. Note how the way that we make Paimon appear in-game is for you to go to the menu, which means that most of the time when we see Paimon, it's when the time stops for us in-game. Also, in the menu, Paimon is the only one who helps us go forward in time. These are the only 2 instances in the game where we see someone controlling time, and both of them have Paimon involved. Pretty damning evidence. Now, it does seem that even with this evidence being such a good indicator, it probably only takes us to being 85% convinced. Well, let me guide you through the 15% left. When people design games, colors are very important when designing a character. A paladin being someone who's typically white and gold, and a rogue clothed in black or purple. Colors are a way to show a character's personality in a way. So when you look at the Unknown God and Paimon, yes, they have similar symbols, yes, they have celestial patterns, yet the biggest thing that keeps them apart seems subtle that people just miss. And as I've been leading up to it, it's their colors.
So, what you're trying to say is that you fell here from another world? But when you wanted to leave and go on to the next world, your path was blocked by some unknown god?
Outlanders, your journey ends here. Who are you? The sustainer of heavenly principles. The arrogation of mankind ends now.
You can clearly see that the Unknown God has orange accents and even orange eyes. The effects of her abilities are black with a reddish-orange outline. Paimon, on the other hand, has blue accents, blue eyes, where the effects around her are white with blue outlines. These two are actually opposites, and when you look at the color wheel for color theory, you can see that orange and blue are the complete opposite sides of each other. And I think this is intentional. See, the short moment that we see the Unknown God, we can clearly see that she has powers to make portals, create cubes that she can phase people through, and even shrink or grow as she pleases. This makes her look like she has control over space, while Paimon is in control of time. Orange and blue, space and time.
Paimon's been calling you Guhua Geek this whole time. Paimon read in one of these martial artist novels that when rich heirs like you get angry at someone, you have their arms and legs chopped off. Paimon's toast, and sorry, very sorry. Please don't hurt Paimon.
Calm down. Since you can fly, you hardly need your legs anyway.
Save me, save me. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
Now you may be thinking that I skimmed over the Trinity Knot idea, but there's no concrete meaning to the knot. They've had many different meanings throughout the years, but the only one that really makes any sense to me is it symbolizing 3 gods or a trinity of gods. I don't think this has any meaning for Paimon or any other character in the game since the symbol is pretty much just everywhere. Just look at your Mora, I'm sure you'll see it there too. But if it turns out that there are 3 gods that actually rule over Celestia, now that's where I can see this symbol making a connection, since it's everywhere on Tivat.
Marvelous. Jolly hose. Somebody fetch the butler. Spiffings.
But that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Also, thank you to Jake Marlowe for jumpstarting me for the idea of this video. Subscribe and like the video if you liked it, and comment down below what you think about it. But that's all from me. I'll see you all next time. Ad Astra, Abyssos.